It turns out demons in the Bible are transgender. Uh-oh. I have terrible news about angels as well, if this is what we're going with. They're actually not just gender non-conforming angels. They're androgynous. Yeah. And if women are made in God's image, isn't God also... Like, why would God adhere to human sex? I don't know. Sauce stash? No. Right. Demons in the Bible are transgender. He's got a little tiny microphone. Man, now I'm feeling a little insecure about my big honking microphone. And his little tiny one's way more sleek.
But as you read Judges, and I would encourage you to do so.
Oh, okay. What part of Judges? Judges 19, anybody? You guys want to read little Judges 19 real quick? Just a quick refresher. The Levite and his concubine? Okay. So Levite and his concubine show up, and the old man says, it's essentially the same story as Sodom and Gomorrah. Says, hey, you're welcome to my house, old man says. Let me supply whatever you need. Don't spend the night in the square, because out in the square are the wicked men. And while they were enjoying themselves, some of the wicked men surrounded the house, pounding on the door. They shouted to the old man who owned the house. This is from the Bible, the Holy Bible. Okay? The men would not listen. You're not welcome here. Bring out the man who came to your house so we can have sex with him. The owner of the house went outside and told them, no, my friends, don't be so vile. Since this man is my guest, don't do this outrageous thing. A reasonable sentence. Here's the next sentence from the good guy in the story. Look, here is my virgin daughter and his concubine. I will bring them out to you now, and you can use them and do whatever you wish. But as for this man, don't do such an outrageous thing. But the men didn't listen to him, so the men took his concubine and sent her outside of them, and they raped her and abused her throughout the night, and at dawn they let her go. At daybreak the woman went back to the house where her master was staying, fell down at the door, and lay there until daylight. When her master got up in the morning and opened the door of the house and stepped out and to continue his way, there lay his concubine fallen in the door of the house, with her hands on the threshold. He said to her, get up, let's go. But there was no answer. Then the man put her on his donkey and set out for home. It gets worse. When he reached home, he took a knife and cut up his concubine, limb by limb, into 12 parts, and sent them into all the areas of Israel. Everyone who saw it was saying to one another, such a thing has never been seen or done, not since the days that the Israelites came up out of Egypt. Just imagine, we must do something, so speak up. And they weren't outraged that the pieces got sent. They were outraged that the guy was sending the pieces to communicate the vile behavior of the men. Not of him giving this person to them. Anyway, that's in the Holy Bible. God is good and stuff. Are you sure you want to reference this passage? Well, yeah, he's going to read some Judges. Which part of Judges?
You will hear of the gods or God 24 times in reference to demons. And that word in the original Old Testament language of Hebrew, it's Elohim. Elohim means a citizen of the unseen realm. It's a spirit being.
Elohim is literally used as God. Wait, what? Now he's trying to say references to Elohim is demons? Yeah, Elohim is a plural for gods, which is what the original Bible says. Genesis 1:1. God said, let there be light. It's actually Elohim said, let there be light. So the gods said. It was plural.
This can be an angel. This can be a demon. This can be God. But on 24 occasions, the Bible keeps telling us there were these kings and kingdoms that were invading and attacking, and working in and through them were these demons. This is the prophetic nature of the Bible's understanding and revelation of history.
They don't say demons. They say gods. Baal worshippers, for instance, or Baal. They say gods because they were revered as gods, not as demons. They don't assume they're demons at all. This is a modern interpretation of your brain to sort of make right polytheism in the space. Like you think, oh well, they must have been monotheists because there's only one God. Those must have just been demons. No, they truly believed in gods, and of course, he doesn't understand how that works. He's like, well, I mean, if they were praying to other gods and it actually worked, it must have been demons. Those are the only things that can work. Because his fucking brain is broken. He thinks that demons are reasonable. Instead of just saying, oh, other people believed in other wrong things, he goes, nope, must be demons. This guy's a hilarious nut. He does all kinds of ridiculous sermons, like how everyone should drive 4x4s because Jesus would have driven a Bronco. That's right. That's because of horses.
It's not just people, but it is powers, principalities, and spirits working through people. And as we get into this, you'll need to see that when God creates, Satan counterfeits. That God creates angels and then Satan counterfeits them as demons.
Satan? I don't know what it is about people that instead of pronouncing their T's, they pronounce a D really hard, but it always makes me giggle. I feel like it's always a similar vibe.
God is going to work through the Holy Spirit, and Satan is going to oppose that work through unholy spirits. And when it comes to the angelic and also the demonic realm, you need to think in terms of military. There is rank and authority. There are those who are in authority and those who are under authority. In the angelic realm, for example, there are two high-ranking angels that we know the names of. There are only two angels in the Bible, holy angels, that are named, Michael and Gabriel.
Is that true? I mean, you would argue Satan, right? Sure, Michael, Gabriel. There's other Bibles. Are those all extracurricular, like extra biblical sources, though? Or is that all like Dante and stuff that name the other angels? I've read a lot of this shit. I just don't remember. My boy Lucifer. They're not counting Lucifer, I guess. There are more in the it's apocryphal. Oh. I guess that's technically extra biblical. Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael. That's true.
All other angels are anonymous and unnamed. Similarly, most of the demons in the Bible, they are unnamed, but a few are.
What about Azrael? Wait, was that 7th century Azrael?
Are named. We just
Sapatra.
read two of them, Baal and Ashtoreth. We're going to talk about those demons in great detail today so that you can understand the remainder of the backdrop and the prophetic history behind the book of Judges. And so these high-ranking angelic beings, they are referred to as Baal and Ashtoreth. Now, Baal appears as male, Ashtoreth appears as female, but ultimately, when all is said and done, take a deep breath. I will too.
Okay.
God made us, human beings, with an anatomical physical body as male and female.
Okay.
We are binary with sex,
bimodal,
gender, and sexuality determined by God.
Sex, gender, and sexuality determined by God. Okay, so if I like to suck dicks, that was determined by God? Or only one kind of sexuality? Source? Le Biblio.
Demons and angelic beings, they are...
Are these demons or angelic beings? These look like fucking... These just look like fucking fantasy people. What is happening here?
Also created by God, but they do not inhabit a physical body.
These got to be biblical people. Judges?
They are spiritual, not physical. That means that a divine being, in this case a demon, is non-binary.
Okay. Including angels and God. And souls, I suppose? Right? Is he woke now?
They can appear as male or female.
That's more gender fluid, to be honest. They can appear as male or female. They can't do androgyny, which of course they can in the Bible. Beast. So demons are cool.
They are transgender and operate on a gender spectrum.
One lady. Wow.
What you're going to see in Judges is what we're also seeing in our culture. That God made us in his image and likeness, male and female, and demons want to convert us to worship them by being non-binary, transgender, and on a fluid spectrum of sex, gender, and sexuality.
Okay. So as an atheist, this is so fucking... It's funny, and it's also like, these people are fucking psychos. That's a delusional thought. This is textbook delusion. You can't tell me this is anything other than delusion. Okay? This is fucking... I'm an anti-theist. You should be an anti-theist. If you're not an anti-theist and you're hanging out here, welcome to the anti-theism show. Religion cooks your fucking brain. This guy cannot think on a logical track anymore. He's fucked. foundationally because he doesn't understand the nature of his own existence due to his false belief in this religion. Due to his false belief in this religion, he believes that the only way to come to gender fluidity or any kind of gender nonconformance is through the act of demon worship and or influence. How? How is that something that we're like, yep, totally fine, not a problem in society? We should treat these people as normal operators with no fucking problem. This is a mental health issue. It is. You have normalized it. And they're teaching it to children. This is, I mean, at best, it's propaganda. At best. Worst case, it's fucking literally brainwashing, and it is. It's indoctrination. This is crazy. Demons? Demons aren't real. That's number one. That's pretty important. Number two, because I am an atheist and understand that our natural, we are a species of animal that exists on this earth. We are that. That's undeniable. We're apes. We are great apes with the cognition, the ability to self-reflect. That is essentially what sets us apart. Self-reflection. The idea that I watched something the other day and it was really interesting. The difference between like animals and us is the ability to think about ourselves in a broad spectrum and like we are concepts in our own brain. Like a deer walks through the woods and is looking for food, doesn't find food for 3 days, is hungry but doesn't feel like an idiot because the deer can't find food. The deer doesn't have a concept of feeling like an idiot or anything like that. Humans will do that. Humans will be like, no, we are susceptible to depression and so like this isn't a thing. Like a cat, this cat is not susceptible to that kind of like thought, right? Anyway, very interesting stuff. So just understanding that and just understanding like man and woman, the idea of what is a man and what is a woman is socially fluid. This type of dress wouldn't have been considered manly or okay 300 years ago, right? Like he just wouldn't. That is a social thing that's moved around. By the 1800s, maybe you could look like this, right? As we sort of pioneer out west, but like cats can get depression for sure. They can get depression, but it's not like the same. It's like, it's not self-induced or self-induced. It's not, I'm a piece of shit. I'm the worst cat that's ever existed. It's usually because someone's beating me, right? Or they're getting harmed in or negligence or something. It's not like, it's not depression. It's, being abused. But, man, just understanding that we're animals. And that this is just a social imposition that you put on people. Like, I have no fucking qualms. I do not feel trans, right? I don't feel what that feels like. I don't know what it's like. I got lucky. I mean, I feel very comfortable as a man. But like, when people tell me of their experience and they're like, yeah, this makes me uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right to me. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. People have been calling you the wrong thing. I've been called the wrong thing before or something you didn't want to be called. I've been treated differently than I'd like to be treated. It hasn't been always around my identity, but I could feel these concepts out. And when you describe to me your experience of being trans, it's like, yeah, I have sympathy for you. I may not have the ability to fully empathize with the position, but I can empathize with enough of it to understand like, oh, okay. I don't know. To feel like a man or a woman or whatever, you don't have to meet my fucking expectation or bar. It's your own. Just be happy with whatever you got going on. That's the point, right? Anyway. I'm trans and I'm not dysphoric. You don't have to be dysphoric to be trans. It happens. Being trans is bullshit and a logistics nightmare, right?
The entire force in our culture, I'm telling you, is Baal and Astra trying to pull people to be like demons, not like God made them.
It's Baal and Astra.
That's why there's such a powerful force at work in our culture. It is now recruiting and evangelizing entire generations at the youngest possible age to have confusion and then to have sexual confusion that leads to lots of trauma and devastation.
Yeah, so the trauma and devastation is from you, Trans people, okay, there is some aspect to, it's all misogyny. and homophobia and transphobia and internalizing all of these things. I mean, and I guess sometimes, no, it's all misogyny. Anyway, it's all internalized. Or a lot of it's internalized at these points. Like, trans people have lots of different problems. Most of it is like 99% of it is the social aspect. If no one gave a shit, it wouldn't be a problem, right? Some people would be very dysphoric about their bodies or whatever, but I mean, like, if it was socially acceptable, it would. I mean, you're not gonna get a lot of pushback from that. I mean, then people would just support you on whatever path it is, and you might have to work for, some kind of get your titties or whatever, Then that's cool. Now we're doing the titty fund. Let's go. I don't care. I just genuinely could not imagine giving a fuck about how someone wants to identify and thinking that I have some kind of say over their fucking life. Like, these are just people that want control over others because of the shitty way that they were raised. It's this, they're just trying to reconcile, like, if this is all true, if this God shit is true. And this is where it lives in a lot of people. Transphobia, homophobia, it lives in religion. It sits there. And you might be like, well, no, I don't think so. No, it really fucking does. It sits right there. And it's under patriarchy, it's under misogyny, homophobia. I mean, it just sits right there and is cultivated in this pot. You could ostensibly be a secular person, for instance, Sargon of Akkad, but he adheres to Christian cultural expectations, so he's no better than a Christian. Like, he literally follows through with that stuff. So it's not different just because he doesn't believe in the ultimate idea that they believe in. He follows the same cultural practices. It's not different. It lives there under the same structures that he thinks are good.
This is exactly the backdrop, and I'll explain it in greater detail in a moment, for Baal and Asherah and the demonic work that is occurring in the book.
The Lotus Eaters has a Catholic show now. Well, he wants to, monetarily, he is incentivized to involve Christianity in his projects, yes. And I would not be surprised at any point if any of these, and a lot of them are. There's a guy named Myth Informed, Brian from the Myth Informed podcast, who does the Mythicist Milwaukee meetup thing where they just have chuds on to circle jerk, and they'll have like one or two leftists, so that you can hope that they will have bad performances as they're isolated without any friends around. Like, they're so shitty. Anyway, that Brian guy, I don't even think he's a mythicist anymore, which means not even believing that there was a historical Jesus. The guy is straight up propaganda all the time. He's terrified to have a conversation with me, though. The Mythicist Milwaukee guy, terrified. I think he's just at Myth Informed on Twitter. He's had one conversation with me, and he thought that I was an anti-SJW at the time. It was years and years ago, and I wasn't. I gave him pushback the whole time, and ever since then, I got disinvited from that fucking event because of that. They're so conspiratorial. They're genuinely fucking crazy. Brian specifically, crazy. Actually unhinged.
Book of Judges and constantly seducing God's people.
Seducing
it's very
God's
simple.
people.
You can be like God made you.
So I'm the biggest atheist in the world. Wouldn't you think the demons have like a beeline right to my heart? I am not. Wouldn't you think I'd be the transiest? Wouldn't I be just so trans right now? Am I suddenly more effective not being trans? Do you think, okay, do you think that my message would be hindered or helped by being a trans, if I ended up being trans, right? I think it would be helped, personally. In lefty spaces? Like, if people were disingenuously trans the way that they say they are, I mean, I feel like, and everything was cynical. It was always cynical. It was always about money and attention and all that shit. Wouldn't everyone just be like, yeah, I'm trans? But that doesn't happen because it's like a serious, weird, like, not weird thing. Like, it's weird to fucking, it's weird to do that and not be trans, right? Like, it'd be fucked up. No one's doing that. They made you so trans you've gone cis, horseshoe theory style. Damn. I would still love if okay, here's what I want. I want a Christian and a person who believes in demons to sit with me on stream and genuinely try to summon a demon. And then we can, the Christian there can be like, we'll send him away. I would love someone to agree to do that.
Or like the demons want to remake you. Your genitalia and your gender is spiritual warfare. And it's either going to represent how God made you or how demons want to remake you like them.
That's interesting. The demon won't show up to make the Christians look crazy because that's how they work. Ooh, true. I'm not going to go to whatever weird thing is where you're just sitting in your jeans and be like, hey, come here for more of this stuff. So I don't think the demons are making people trans. You know? I just don't think that's what's happening. Your genitals are warfare? Fuck yeah, dude. Matt Dillahunty played along with that and it got ridiculous. Oh, dude, I have great ideas. I want to summon a demon so bad. I would absolutely play into it too. Dude, can you imagine? You ready? Wouldn't it be perfect? Little demons? We could do some demons? I gotta get close over here. Summon some demons with me. Let's summon some demons. Wouldn't it be fun? Who wants to summon demons with me? Let's do it.